Hi, this is Brian from Datavized, and this is a tutorial for Airfield, a web application for editing spatialized audio. Airfield is built with the Web Audio API and supports all modern browsers on mobile or desktop. It's installable as an offline web app if your browser and your operating system supports it. And let's get started. So this is the desktop interface. At the bottom we have the timeline, which is similar to many audio and video editing software packages. And up here will be the audio library, which is empty right now, and this will be our clip inspector, which will also be active when we have some clips. So let's start and import some audio. So first I'm going to import a clip, dragging it right from my desktop. Now we can import clips by just dragging and dropping them, or here there's an import button which we can click to bring up a dialog box, which will be useful on mobile. Many platforms don't allow dragging and dropping of files. Or we can click the record button to have access to our microphone and just record directly. But for this, we're going to be for this example, we're going to be creating a beach scene. So let's start with this audio file of some waves and drag it into our timeline. So here we've created a track which is automatically named itself waves.wave, and let's play it and just hear what it sounds like. Okay, great. So we can scroll out and see that this is about 1 minute and 47 seconds long. I can click on it, and up here is the audio clip inspector. I'll just rename this to Ocean Waves to make it clean. And we can enable it or disable it, or change the volume, or manually edit the clip in point, not point duration. This clip here is a little long for what we're going to be doing today, so I can just shorten it here with my mouse. Let's bring it down to about 30 seconds for now. That should be good. Okay, so that's good. We've got this one clip. And let's bring in a couple more clips. Let's bring in some seagulls. And we have a sound of some kids playing. Now these audio files are stored locally in the web browser. They don't get uploaded to a server at all. And that means that they're also accessible if you're offline. Most modern browsers will be able to access the web application offline, including any projects or audio data you've stored. Okay, so let's add in the seagulls. Okay, again, this is way too long, so we'll trim it right down. And let's play that. Now I'm gonna hit the solo button so we can temporarily hear just the seagull track. And we can use that. That's a common feature in many audio editing packages. And we'll bring in the kids playing, which I'll also solo that for a second just to hear what that sounds like. And then we'll make this one shorter as well. Bring this back down to 30 seconds. Okay, great. Okay, so we have our composition. Let's hear a little bit what it sounds like. Okay, it's a pretty full scene. Now, the next thing we're going to do today is we're going to spatialize this audio. And that's going to help us pick out the sounds a little bit more clearly. So I'm going to click on this button to go to the Spatialize screen. And we'll see in each of these tracks they have a pan mode. Now, these are stereo tracks, so by default, since we're in auto mode, it shows up as stereo. But we're going to change them to spatial. If they were mono tracks, they would pick spatial by default. We can also handle importing ambisonic 4-channel audio files as well. So now that we have those, we can go back in here, and each of these is represented as a little dot on the screen. So the first thing I'm going to do in spatializing is I'm going to separate these out so we can see them. So the ocean waves, I'm going to put, so we're at the center here. I'll put the ocean waves in front of us. And then we'll put the kids, let's put them off in the background to behind us and to the left, and the seagulls we'll put kind of off to the right a little bit. Now let's play that and see what that sounds like. So we can hear that even in real time the audio is spatialized. So if I want to take seagulls and bring them over to the left, they come to the left. So that works pretty well, I think. We can still adjust the volume a little bit. Maybe we'll bring the volume of the waves down just a notch. And I can't really hear the kids. Let's bring them a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, great. So we have our scene and it's spatialized. Now what can we do with this? So we can export it. So I'm going to click the export button. And we have a couple of options here. So we have our mode. It can be a mono file, a stereo file, or an ambisonic file. Now, an ambisonic file, a stereo file, will just render it to one left track and one right track. And we can play those back, and it will be spatialized, but it's sort of permanently spatialized in that way. If we pick an ambisonic format, which I think only works in waveform, the ambisonic format outputs a 4-channel audio file, which then can be brought into certain audio players or virtual reality applications for creating a sound environment. And in that sound environment, as your head turns, if you have head tracking, the audio files will turn accordingly. The audio sources will be spatialized the way you initially built the scene. So in our export dialog box, we have options for export and export to drive. Now, export to drive, this is going to work with Google Drive. So I think I just need to turn off content blocking to get that to work. And there you go. So now, if we want, we can export directly to desktop. Or if you want to export to your Google Drive account, this will be useful on iOS devices that will not download an audio file directly to the operating system. Just while we're at it, I'm going to show, I'm going to go into developer mode and show the responsive design mode. We'll show what this looks like on a phone. Let's rotate it. It's a little bit cleaner that way. We can zoom out. So on the phone, we have our mobile layout, which has all the same features, but it's a little bit different. We can have our timeline. We can have our audio library separately. And in the audio library, I can click on an audio file and click to add it directly to the timeline, and it will go to wherever our playhead is. Or when we go back to the timeline, we can use this little button here that has a direct link to that in wherever we are. That's about it. So give it a try and send us your feedback. We have, I believe, a feedback button up here, and we'd love to hear what kind of projects you made with it. Thanks very much.